Before you grab your next pack of toilet paper, it's worth knowing what's actually inside some of the brands you've trusted for years. Not the packaging, not the marketing, what independent testing, consumer complaints, and documented recalls actually show. Some of the most familiar names in this category carry chemical residues you never agreed to. Contamination that reached store shelves and compounds linked to hormone disruption and long-term immune damage absorbed through tissue that's designed to pull things directly into your bloodstream. 11 brands to avoid. 5 that held up under real scrutiny. Worst ones first, better options at the end. We're starting with number 11. Number 11. Angel Soft. This is the one that's been in grocery stores so long it barely registers anymore. Pastel packaging, a soft-sounding name, a price that fits almost any budget. Generations of families have reached for it automatically, and that automatic trust is exactly the problem. Angel Soft frequently appears with scented varieties, scented tubes, scented rolls, a psychological trick designed to create the illusion of a cleaner bathroom while masking chemical odors. But from a dermatological standpoint, introducing synthetic fragrances this close to the body's most sensitive areas isn't a minor cosmetic choice. It carries real risk. Consumer complaints, particularly from women, consistently identify Angel Soft's chemical fragrances as a direct cause of vulvitis, contact dermatitis, and disruption of the genital area's natural pH balance. That kind of pH disruption creates conditions where bacteria and yeast thrive. And because the fragrances aren't fully disclosed on the label, many people never connect the product to what's happening. Beyond the fragrance issue, Angel Soft's surface texture is routinely described as thin, rough, and prone to crumbling, leaving damp paper fragments on skin after use. The brand also receives an F grade from the Natural Resources Defense Council for relying entirely on virgin wood pulp and contributing to deforestation with zero recycled content. A cheap, chemically scented roll doesn't make your bathroom cleaner. It just moves the risk somewhere less visible. And for seniors with sensitive skin or compromised immune systems, that's a trade worth understanding before you reach for it. Number 10. Quilted Northern. The raised diamond pattern, the thick plush layers, the commercials designed to make bathroom tissue feel almost luxurious. Quilted Northern costs more than Angel Soft, and that price difference is intentional. It signals quality, care, and a better choice. Multiple batches have been flagged for chlorine bleach residue at levels exceeding what's considered safe for repeated skin contact. If you've ever opened a fresh package and caught a faint chemical smell, something between a public pool and an industrial cleaner, that's not your imagination. That's what stays behind after a bleaching process meant to create brightness, leaving compounds that contact your body every single day. For seniors with kidney issues or those on diuretics, the concern is specific. Chlorine compounds can worsen urinary inflammation and aggravate conditions those medications are already working to control. Independent lab testing has also found formaldehyde traces in certain production runs. A known carcinogen and skin irritant that has no business being in a product you use on your body multiple times a day. Here's what makes this worse. The quilted texture, the very feature that feels premium, physically traps chemical residues between its layers and presses them against skin with more surface contact per use than a flat sheet would. More luxury, more exposure, and then there's the environmental record. Quilted Northern receives a consistent F grade from the NerdSea's Issue with Tissue report. The brand entirely avoids recycled materials, relying 100% on virgin boreal forest timber from northern Canada. Scientists have called this a climate crime. The boreal forest is the world's largest terrestrial carbon sink, and it's being clear-cut to produce a single-use product that's unnecessarily thick. Beyond the health concerns, buying Quilted Northern means funding the destruction of one of the planet's most critical ecosystems just to get a slightly fluffier sheet. You paid more for this brand because you assumed it was safer and better. The packaging is designed to create exactly that assumption. Number 9. Scott 1000. 1,000 sheets per roll, no frills packaging, a price point that makes real sense for anyone on a fixed income. Scott 1000 doesn't oversell itself. It just promises to do the job. That straightforwardness is part of why people trust it. But single-ply sheets need chemical treatment to hold together, without falling apart. Scott 1000 uses optical brighteners in that process, compounds that can trigger allergic reactions in people with sensitive skin. Seniors managing eczema or psoriasis report flare-ups after switching to this brand. Dry, cracked skin that takes weeks to fully settle. The physical thinness is a separate issue. Less material means more friction and pressure against tissue that no longer has the elasticity it once did. Micro tears in delicate skin are small, sometimes imperceptible, but they're entry points. For seniors with circulatory issues or diabetes, where healing is already slowed, a minor break in the skin's barrier can become a problem that simply won't resolve. Lab analysis has detected phthalates in Scott 1000, chemicals that disrupt endocrine function and worsen cardiovascular conditions at levels notably above the industry average. For anyone managing heart disease or thyroid disorder, that daily accumulation isn't neutral. It compounds. The savings per roll are real. The chemical load your body absorbs in exchange is also real. Most people making this purchase have no idea they're trading one for the other. Take a breath here, because what's coming up next is the entry that genuinely surprises people. Number 8. 7th generation. This is the most unexpected entry on this list, and honestly, the most frustrating one, because 7th generation is bought specifically by people trying to avoid every problem we've covered so far. The brown recycled paper, the environmental certifications, the free and clear messaging on the front of the package. This is the brand for people who are paying attention, which makes what's actually inside worth understanding very carefully. Independent lab testing, conducted by Mammovation in partnership with Environmental Health News, found that 7th generation's 100% recycled bath tissue contained organic fluorine levels of up to 35 parts per million. The highest contamination level recorded among the 17 brands tested in that analysis. Organic fluorine at that level is a confirmed marker for PFAS, per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances. The class of compounds known as forever chemicals because they don't break down in the environment or in your body. Here's how it happens. The recycled pulp supply chain collects post-consumer waste paper indiscriminately, and that includes thermal receipts, plastic-coated packaging, and other materials that are inherently loaded with PFAS, BPA, and BPS. When those materials are processed into recycled toilet paper without rigorous chemical purification protocols, those endocrine-disrupting compounds get cooked directly into the finished product. The brand may not be intentionally adding PFAS, but marketing a product at a premium price as safe for families, while allowing the highest measured forever chemical concentration of any tested brand to reach consumers' most sensitive skin every day. That's not an oversight consumers are obligated to excuse. A self-proclaimed clean product tied to the highest PFAS levels in independent testing is the definition of a label that isn't earning the trust it's selling. Number 7. Charmin Ultra Strong. The Dancing Bears. The playful tagline, one of the most recognized brands in the world, and marketing so warm and familiar that critical thinking about the product rarely enters the picture. The Ultra Strong formula relies on synthetic binders and resins to deliver its advertised strength. These don't break down cleanly, which creates two connected problems: plumbing issues over time, and more critically, chemical residue that persists on skin after use. Seniors with hemorrhoids or rectal sensitivity report increased pain and irritation specific to this product. Some describe a coating sensation that won't fully rinse away, but the chemical story goes deeper than the binders. An EPA-certified lab caught Charmin Ultrasoft, the brand's best-selling line, containing organic fluorine levels at 13 parts per million. That's a biological indicator confirming the presence of PFAS forever chemicals. Subjecting your body to a bioaccumulative substance linked to cancer daily in one of its most absorbent areas is a significant price to pay for a soft feel. Then there's the paper dust problem. Thousands of complaints across Reddit and Amazon describe excessive lint and fine cellulose particles, sometimes called kitty litter, by frustrated users, adhering stubbornly to intimate areas and coating bathroom surfaces. That isn't just unpleasant. The friction from persistent paper debris causes real irritation, and for seniors with already sensitive skin, it can trigger ongoing inflammation that's difficult to trace back to its source. On the infrastructure side, simulated dissolve tests show Charmin Ultra Soft and Ultra Strong maintain a bulky solid structure in water, breaking down extremely poorly. Plumbers consistently identify Charmin as a leading cause of clogged toilets and backed-up septic systems, particularly in older plumbing. The brand charges premium prices for a product that delivers PFAS exposure, paper dust irritation, and serious plumbing risk. The bears are not going to tell you that. Number 6. Cottonelle. Dermatologist tested, formulated for sensitive skin. The blue and white packaging reads almost clinical. Design language that implies medical approval without explicitly claiming it. In 2020, Cottonelle issued a large-scale recall due to documented risk of bacterial contamination, specifically carrying the potential for urinary tract infections and more serious secondary infections. But the legal record goes further than that recall. Public court documents show that Cottonelle faced a class action lawsuit resulting in a forced $17.5 million settlement in 2024. The case centered on batches contaminated with Pluralobacter jergovii, a highly dangerous antibiotic-resistant strain of bacteria. Users were exposed through direct contact, leading to severe skin, urinary tract, respiratory, and gastrointestinal infections. For seniors whose immune systems are already compromised, antibiotic-resistant bacterial exposure through toilet paper isn't a theoretical concern. It's a documented, litigated, settled reality. Beyond the contamination issue, complaint data from the FDA's MAUDE database identified the chemical preservative methylisothiazolinone in Cottonelle products. That compound has been directly linked to ulcers, rashes, eczema, and persistent yeast infections in the genital areas. Symptoms so consistent that many women reported believing they had contracted an STD before identifying the actual cause. The brand positions itself as the safest option in the aisle. A $17.5 million settlement, antibiotic-resistant bacterial contamination, and an FDA-flagged chemical preservative are the documented evidence behind that positioning. If this investigation has been useful so far, a quick like helps more people find it. We still have 5 more brands to get through, and the next one is one of the biggest names in American retail. Number 5. Great Value Ultra Strong. The bottom shelf, the lowest price tag in the aisle. For seniors on fixed incomes trying to make every dollar stretch, Great Value toilet paper makes practical sense. It's a Walmart product, a major retailer with its name on the packaging. But here's what actually happens when people use it. Great Value's fiber structure is weak. Sheets tear, shred, and begin dissolving the moment they encounter any moisture. To compensate, users instinctively pull 2, 3, sometimes 4 times the normal amount for a single use. Bunching multiple layers of rough paper together dramatically increases friction against sensitive tissue, causing chafing and microabrasion. And it means the roll depletes far faster than expected, completely canceling out and often exceeding the few dollars saved at checkout. Reports from production facilities describe inconsistent quality control. Some batches have been found to contain wood splinters and unprocessed fiber fragments that should have been caught long before packaging. For seniors with post-surgical tissue or compromised healing, a fiber fragment in the wrong place isn't uncomfortable. It's an abrasion that becomes an infection. The bleaching process used on Great Value products leaves behind higher than average dioxin residues, compounds linked to immune suppression and elevated long-term cancer risk. The NERDC gives Great Value a flat F rating for being made entirely from virgin pulp with 0 recycled content and 0 sustainability effort. When the cheapest option also generates the most contamination complaints, requires you to use far more product per use, and carries documented dioxin residue, the savings aren't what they appear to be on the shelf. Number 4. White Cloud. This is Walmart's other toilet paper, positioned a deliberate step above Great Value. More polished packaging, a higher price, a name that sounds clean and gentle. If you've chosen White Cloud over Great Value because it seemed like the more careful purchase, that's exactly what the positioning is designed to make you feel. The 3-ply structure creates an immediate mechanical problem. White Cloud sheets are intentionally thick to create a feeling of durability, but the fiber bonding technology doesn't support clean breakdown in water. Plumbers and consumer watchdog groups consistently flag White Cloud as a stubborn clogger in narrow plumbing and home septic systems. The thickness that feels like quality in your hand becomes a serious infrastructure liability the moment it's flushed. Chemically, White Cloud appears to still be using elemental chlorine-free bleaching technology rather than the safer, truly chlorine-free methods that use hydrogen peroxide or ozone. The ECF process uses chlorine dioxide, which, while better than raw chlorine gas, still risks generating residues of toxic organic compounds, including dioxins, at trace levels on the paper surface. In a market where brands are racing toward ingredient transparency, White Cloud's silence on its bleaching process is notable. The brand also refuses to use any recycled content, relying entirely on virgin wood pulp while maintaining a murky sourcing process that consumer watchdogs have flagged for lack of transparency. Add the microplastics embedded in its synthetic fiber processing, which transfer to skin and mucous membranes on contact, and what presents as a premium upgrade from great value delivers a different set of the same category of problems. The premium feel is real. The premium safety is not. Number 3. Presto. Amazon's budget toilet paper exists for one reason: convenience. Subscribe and save. Automatic delivery. Never run out. For seniors with limited mobility or no easy access to transportation, that's not a minor feature. It's a genuine quality of life solution. But consumer watchdog groups have flagged Presto for containing some of the highest measured PFAS levels among major toilet paper brands. Forever chemicals. They don't break down in the environment, and they don't break down in your body. They accumulate. Long-term PFAS exposure is associated with kidney disease, thyroid dysfunction, and immune system damage. For seniors already managing any of those conditions, daily PFAS exposure through toilet paper isn't background risk. It's a direct compounding factor every single day. The thin, rough texture generates more friction against tissue that no longer recovers the way it once did. Manufacturing oversight is inconsistent. Chemical composition varies between batches in ways that are difficult to predict or track. Some months the product is relatively tolerable. Other months the batch is meaningfully different in chemical content, and there's no way to know which you're getting. Here's where the subscription model becomes a specific trap. The same convenience that brings it to your door keeps you using it long past the point where you'd otherwise stop. A faint chemical smell when you open the package, a dusty residue that transfers to your hands, sheets that feel rough and industrial. These are signals that an automatic monthly delivery makes structurally easy to keep ignoring. The box arrives, you use it, the exposure continues without a deliberate decision to keep going. Number 2. Kirkland's Signature Bath Tissue. Costco's Kirkland brand has earned its following for real reasons. The bulk value is genuine. The Costco reputation carries real weight. For seniors who make that trip, a large package of Kirkland toilet paper feels like responsible, well-planned shopping. But thousands of Costco members on Reddit and review platforms report that tearing a sheet of Kirkland releases a visible cloud of fine cellulose dust that coats toilet rims, baseboards, and exhaust fans, and leaves a persistent layer of paper debris on the body's intimate areas. That isn't just unpleasant. Medically, the friction from that debris leads to documented dermatological problems, prolonged itching, mucosal irritation, and aggravated flare-ups of psoriasis and eczema. Multiple consumer reports also document significant allergic reactions after switching to Kirkland. Hives, chemical burns, reactions requiring medical attention. The brand uses a proprietary softening blend that includes quaternary ammonium compounds, known irritants for sensitive skin and mucous membranes. For seniors managing diabetes, these compounds can actively inhibit healing of minor skin irritation, turning something that should self-resolve into a wound that persists. Independent lab testing has raised questions about Kirkland's septic-safe labeling. Despite the claim, professional plumbers across North America and notably in Japan, where Kirkland imports have caused documented sewer issues, consider it among the worst offenders for drain blockages. Rather than breaking apart in water, Kirkland's fiber structure degrades into thick, gelatinous cellulosic mats that float in septic tanks, seal off filters, and block drain pipes. The problem is significantly worse in colder climates, where septic bacteria are less active. The binders holding the fibers together also contain formaldehyde-releasing preservatives that absorb through skin contact. Synthetic fragrance compounds have tested significantly above industry average. By the time symptoms appear and you connect them to the product, you're already weeks into a package too large to return, and the exposure has been ongoing the entire time. Buying Kirkland to save money, then paying a dermatologist and a septic pumping service to fix the consequences is not the deal it looks like at the warehouse checkout. Number 1. Angel Soft with fresh lavender scent. The unscented version sits at number 11. Fragrance chemicals, thin rough texture, and F grade for sustainability. Documented skin complaints. Those are real problems. But the scented version, the lavender one, the one that smells pleasant and feels like a harmless little upgrade, takes every problem the unscented version has and layers additional, more serious chemical risk on top of each one. That combination is why it's number 1. The lavender fragrance contains phthalates and synthetic musks, endocrine disruptors that interfere directly with the body's hormone regulation system. For seniors on thyroid medication or hormone replacement therapy, the consequence is specific and measurable. These compounds can reduce the effectiveness of those treatments. Your dosage hasn't changed. Your prescription is correct, but your toilet paper is actively working against both. Every single day, in a way that is nearly impossible to identify without knowing to look for it. The fragrance also contains acetaldehyde, a probable carcinogen and a documented respiratory irritant. In an enclosed bathroom, acetaldehyde off-gases into the air with every visit. For seniors with COPD or emphysema, that's a trigger that doesn't stay in the bathroom. The fragrance transfers to skin and clothing, creating chemical exposure that follows you through the rest of the day. Consumer Reports document cases of severe contact dermatitis from this specific product, blistering and open sores in intimate areas requiring prescription treatment. Poison control data shows a significant upward trend in adverse reactions to scented personal care products among seniors in recent years. For seniors with reduced kidney function, the body's diminished capacity to filter these compounds means accumulation happens faster. Damage appears earlier, and recovery takes longer. The scent is the warning sign most people are misreading as reassurance. It doesn't smell like lavender. It smells like a synthetic approximation, filling the bathroom with chemical fumes every time you open the cabinet. The fragrance migrates to towels, nearby products, your hands, and clothing. You chose it because it seemed like a small, pleasant upgrade. What it actually is, the most chemically layered, most hormonally disruptive product on this entire list, wearing the disguise of a simple daily comfort. That's why nothing on this list is worse. Now that you know what to avoid, here are the 5 options that actually held up under real scrutiny. And after everything we just covered, the difference is significant. Best option number 5, Scott 1000. This one surprises people because it's already on the avoid list at number 9 in its standard form. But here's the distinction worth making. Scott 1000, despite its chemical processing concerns for sensitive skin, is the only major mass-market brand unanimously recommended by professional plumbers across every major forum and trade group. In a category where brands routinely claim septic safe on the label while their product is actively destroying pipes, Scott is the single exception that actually performs as labeled. EPA testing found 0 traces of organic fluorine in Scott 1000, non-detect PFAS, which is a meaningful result for a mass-market brand at this price point. It rejects artificial fragrances and lotion additives entirely, and its one-ply design dissolves almost instantaneously upon flushing, eliminating septic risk completely. The trade-off is real. It's not soft, it's not plush, and people with very sensitive skin should look at the options above it on this list. But for households prioritizing infrastructure safety and chemical purity over texture, Scott 1000 is the most honest product at its price point. Best option number 4, Seedling by Grove. Developed by Grove Collaborative, Seedling is made from 100% FSC certified bamboo fibers. No wood pulp, no deforestation, no boreal forest impact. Bamboo is harvestable in a few years rather than decades, requires no industrial pesticides, and needs no significant irrigation. The sourcing is genuinely cleaner than anything on the avoid list. More importantly, EPA lab results confirmed zero detectable organic fluorine in seedling, non-detect PFAS. In a category where even eco-positioned brands like 7th Generation and Who Gives a Crap have tested positive for forever chemicals, a verified non-detect result from an EPA-certified lab is significant. That result comes from rigorous supply chain control. Seedling doesn't collect post-consumer waste paper indiscriminately, which is exactly how recycled brands pick up PFAS contamination from thermal receipts and coated materials. Users consistently describe the paper as structurally strong without being abrasive. It holds its shape when wet, resists tearing, and is virtually lint-free. That last quality matters specifically for people with dermatological conditions or those prone to irritation from lingering cellulose particles. The product ships in completely plastic-free packaging. For seniors looking for a bamboo option that has actually been verified clean at the lab level, Seedling is the one that earned that claim. Best option number 3, Kaboo Tree-Free Bath Tissue. Kaboo is made from a blend of bamboo and sugarcane bagasse, the agricultural byproduct left after sugar production that would otherwise be discarded. That combination produces a paper that is genuinely soft and highly absorbent, while biodegrading rapidly in water. It meets the strictest standards for septic-safe and RV flush systems. Not as a marketing claim, but as a verifiable performance characteristic. The chemical profile is where Kaboo sets itself apart most clearly. Independent testing found zero forever chemicals, non-detect organic fluorine, zero BPA, zero parabens, zero elemental chlorine, no bleach, no artificial fragrances, no allergen-triggering additives of any kind. Every compound that appeared repeatedly on the avoid list is simply absent from this product. Kaboo is used in healthcare facilities that select products based on documented patient safety rather than cost. Those facilities are making purchasing decisions for medically vulnerable people under genuine accountability, and Kaboo is what they choose. For seniors managing diabetes, kidney disease, or immune compromise, that institutional endorsement carries real weight. The embossed surface maintains structural integrity during use without leaving behind lint, frayed fragments, or paper debris on skin. A meaningful hygiene distinction for anyone prone to irritation or infection. Best option number 2, Cloud Paper. Cloud Paper sets the current standard for verified chemical purity in the consumer bamboo toilet paper category. The 3-ply roll is manufactured from 100% FSC certified organic bamboo, producing a thick, absorbent, genuinely soft product. But unlike quilted northern, whose thickness creates a plumbing liability, Cloud Paper's fiber structure was specifically engineered for rapid biodegradability. It breaks down quickly and cleanly in water, making it safe for all plumbing systems, including marine and RV sanitation. The testing data is the most compelling part. Cloud Paper shows a complete absence of PFAS, non-detect organic fluorine, 100% truly chlorine-free bleaching, using processes that eliminate dioxin risk entirely, zero harsh chemical preservative residues, completely fragrance-free. In independent reviews, users almost never report shedding dust, layer separation when tearing, or skin chafing, the 3 most common physical complaints across the brands on the avoid list. Cloud Paper also ships each individual roll wrapped in recycled paper rather than plastic, eliminating contamination during warehousing and removing plastic waste from the supply chain entirely. For seniors who want a product that is simultaneously gentle on sensitive skin, genuinely safe at the chemical level, and verified by transparent testing, Cloud Paper delivers on all 3 without asking you to compromise on any of them. Best option number 1, Kaboo, with the strongest independent verification. After reviewing every brand against independent lab data, plumber consensus, dermatological feedback, and supply chain transparency, Kaboo holds the top position for one reason above all others: consistency. Non-detect PFAS, non-detect BPA, no chlorine, no fragrances, no allergens, healthcare facility adoption, rapid biodegradability verified across septic and RV systems, a bamboo sugarcane blend, that produces genuine softness without synthetic processing, and a track record of clean results not just in one test, but across multiple independent analyses over time. The brands on the avoid list fail in different ways, some chemically, some physically, some through supply chain negligence, some through deliberate mislabeling. What they share is a gap between what the label promises and what independent testing finds. Kaboo doesn't have that gap. What's on the label reflects what's in the product, and what's in the product has been verified to reflect what isn't. For seniors managing daily health conditions, for anyone whose immune system or healing capacity is reduced, and for anyone who simply wants to stop absorbing compounds they never agreed to, Kaboo is the most consistently verified safe choice available in this category right now. Your bathroom should be a straightforwardly safe place. The products in it are supposed to help. Toilet paper contacts your body more times per day in more sensitive areas than almost anything else you own. And the chemical exposure documented across these 11 brands doesn't arrive all at once. It accumulates, use by use, day by day, quietly contributing to inflammation, interfering with medications, weakening immune response, and compounding conditions that are already demanding more from a body, with less reserve than it once did. You now know which brands carry those risks, and exactly why. You know what the evidence actually shows, not what the packaging claims. And you know 5 options that have the independent testing record to stand behind every claim they make. That's what to look for the next time you're in that aisle. The label is on every package. Now you know what you're actually reading.